What's up, guys? Eli here. Got 10 more CDs for you. Still in the letter C? No, still in the letter B, but we're almost through it. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. I'll go ahead and start. I like to get right to the point. I hate when I fucking ramble too much. It drives me crazy. All right. Basically, half this stack is going to be Blue Oyster Cult albums, which is probably fine with most people. We'll start with Cultosaurus Erectus. I always thought that was a cool name, and I always thought the album cover was cool. Definitely not one of my favorites from them. I don't know, man. It's kind of nice to listen to. I feel like a lot of people like this album because it's not a bad album, and also it's not. It doesn't have any of their. It doesn't really have any of their hits. This is not a hit single album at all, by any means. I don't recognize any of the songs off this album on the radio, which, I mean, I haven't listened to the radio for 15 years, but when I was a kid, listened a lot. Anyway, solid album, definitely not their best, but kind of a middle-of-the-road album for them. And we have, God, I fucking hate when I don't take, like, price tags off. That's probably from who knows how long I've had this for. Actually, I haven't had this album that long. It's a shitty copy. Agents of Fortune. This is one of their better albums, and this is definitely one of their more popular albums. It does have it's got Don't Fear the Reaper on it, so obviously, yeah, this thing probably went multi-platinum when it came out. Very good album. I would definitely put this near the top of the heap for this for BOC. Not my favorites, but it's fucking up there. Next we have Spectres, which this album is very awesome. This album features one of my favorite songs of theirs, which is Nosferatu, and it's the closer. Fucking amazing song. Go if you haven't heard. You've probably heard BOC, but if you haven't heard Spectre or not Spectres, not the full album, but just go to YouTube. You're on it already. Fucking pause this and go listen to Nosferatu. Very cool song. And then this album's also known for Godzilla, one of those radio singles. That song I could definitely live without. But yeah, very good album. Now we have their self-titled album, Blue Oyster Cult. This album is very cool, very fucking good. It's got Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, a song everyone knows. But it's got way better songs than that. This album, God, I'm so tired. I can't talk right now. This album, sound-wise, is more along the lines of Tyranny and Mutation, which is probably why I like it. It's just, they're almost companion albums as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, very cool. And to finish off the stack of BOC, this is the best BOC album. Don't debate me. I don't think you will. And that's how fucking good this is. Fire of Unknown Origin. I have it on vinyl as well. This album, this is a 10 out of 10 album. This is one of the best rock albums ever to be made and ever will be made. This will never be topped by anything, and that's just how that's going to work. This album, that's all I'm going to say. This album is fucking amazing. Veteran of the Psychic Wars. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it right now. So good. Listen to this whole album right now, actually. It's probably better than, watching this video, and probably better than whatever you're doing at the moment. Yeah, 10 out of 10 album. I can't state that enough. Wow, so basically this whole stack of 10 CDs is only going to be 2 bands. Next up we have Blut Nord. I can't read this too well. What once was Lieber 3. This is a trilogy of albums, I believe, and I think I have all 3 of them. No, I only have 2, of course. I never have a complete set of anything. This is Blut Nord. You probably know who they are if you're into black metal. This is a no-brainer. They are a black metal band from France. They're known for playing very experimental styles, very dissonant. What I like about them personally, I prefer them to Deathspell Omega. If I had to choose, I don't, but if I had to, I don't know. I always liked how they're a little easier to listen to. They're not as technical and as just fucking mindfucky as Deathspell. I do like Deathspell, and I don't know why I'm comparing the two. I've always done it ever since I've heard of them. But anyways, what I like about Blut Nord is they never really repeat themselves. Every time they put out an album, I know I'm in for something a little bit different, at least from what they did previously. So I feel like they keep me on my toes. I feel like everything they have done is quality. I don't think they've ever put out anything that I've hated. Obviously, I like some stuff more than others. If you haven't heard them, I find that kind of weird. But a good starting point, I would say, would just be their early stuff. If you're a fan of more traditional black metal, listen to their first like 3 albums. It's basically really, really, really well played traditional kind of second wavy black metal. But they definitely got more experimental as they went on. Actually, it didn't take them very long. I think by their 3rd album or something, they were already getting fucking weird. But anyways, I'm not going to go too much in detail with these next 2 albums because I get them confused and I can't remember which is which. But anyway, this is from De Beamer Morti, as you know. I'm really not impressed with these digipacks. They are pretty shitty. They are really shitty, actually. But whatever. The music is awesome, so that's all that really matters, more or less. If I'm going to buy something, I prefer it to be, the packaging to be a little more impressive, but what can you fucking do? So that was what once was Liber 3. This is what once was Liber 1. Clearly I need number 2. Did I show the back of that, by the way? Why did I show that? It's just fucking brown. Oh, man. I never cease to amaze myself sometimes. Cool imagery as always. Both of these are really good. I think I prefer this first one, if I remember correctly. It's been actually a while since I've heard them. I remember being really impressed by this one, or really enjoying it anyways. I don't remember 3 as well, so I should probably re-listen. I probably liked it. Who knows? Alright, and this one is really cool. This is Memoria Vetista 2, A Dialogue with the Stars. This album is incredible, actually. They have done, this is another trilogy that they did. They did the first one, Memoria Vetista. The first one was I think their 2nd album. And it came out a long time ago, late 90s or early 2000s, something like that. This one came out, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, 2009. So a little more than that. Candlelight Records. Yeah, man. What can I say? It's just really good. I don't know, melodic, kind of spacey black metal, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't even bother describing anything because I'm horrible at it. But this album is very good. I would give this at least an 8 or a 9 out of 10 if I were to rate it. Awesome. Here's an album of theirs that this is definitely, I would say, 9 out of 10, if not even 10 out of 10. Blut Nord fans would rate this as their weakest album. That is Mort. This is from Candlelight Records also. I don't think it's quite as bad as a lot of the reviews that you'll read, but it's, what can I say? It's a weird album. There's almost no song structure going on, which is, if you're into that thing, that's cool, I guess. You might really like it. Personally, for me, I gotta have some structure. I mean, it's not completely void of structure, but it's more free-flowing and very experimental. It's calling it black metal is a stretch. Calling it metal is a stretch. I don't know. It is definitely something that I think that if you are going to listen to, you should listen to it more than once, because this is not something that you're going to get on even first or second listen. And in fact, I probably need to give it more listens. I feel like the first time I listened to it, I fucking hated it. I think I've only heard it twice. The first time I hated it. The second time I was like, okay, this is not that bad. So who knows? Maybe with 3, 4, 5 listens, maybe I'll really like it. But anyways, that's pretty much what everyone's going to say about it, anyone that's heard it. And finally, The Mystical Beast of Rebellion. For some odd reason, I always used to call it The Mythical Beast of Rebellion. I almost wanted to say it again. It's mystical. Shit. I don't remember where I got this. At Disappear Records? I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I got it at a store, and I'm not familiar with that label. Anyways, this is the album that came out a little bit before the work which transforms God. That's an album that everybody knows. So this album is kind of like, you know, kind of set the precedent for that album. Very experimental, very industrial tinged. Drum machine on this album. Very, very weird and weird. What else can I say? It's not quite as good as Work of Transforms God. but it's definitely kind of like, it's almost like a demo of that, I would say. It's stepping stones or whatever. But yeah, it's a pretty good album. Kind of middle of the road for this band, I would say. It's good. It's not amazing. It's definitely worth listening to. Yeah, just another weapon in the the arsenal of Blut Nord. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely listen to anything they do. I feel like I've never really been completely let down, and I just think they're cool for, like I said, I'm repeating myself, but like I said, they really never put out the same album twice, and I like that. I really like that in an age where, fuck man, I feel like a lot of bands nowadays, though there are a lot of good ones, I feel like there's not a lot of variation anymore. Not a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that goes around saying, "Oh, there aren't any good bands." Fuck those people. I fucking cannot stand that fucking attitude. And it's usually dudes in their 40s. It's either dudes in their 40s or it's fucking posers in their 20s that are, they're mad that they weren't born or they didn't grow up in the 90s, and they're trying to act elitist. So, but anyway, I don't know why I veered into that direction. But I do feel like a variation is kind of lacking in metal nowadays. So when a band comes out and they can actually put out an album that has songs that sound different, and then they can follow that album up with another album that doesn't sound like what they just did, I think that's really cool. And that's why I like Blut Nord. So that is it. I have some videos that I recorded actually like a month ago that I think I'll upload. I don't know. I might actually upload before you see this, or if I don't, I'm going to probably do it shortly after. It's going to be a video, a 2-part video where I talk about Black Sabbath. So I think that'll be kind of cool. I know a lot of people are going to chime in on that because fuck, who doesn't love Black Sabbath? And I'm also thinking about doing a video, kind of like that death metal one that I did, but I'm thinking about doing it with black metal. I'm thinking about it. I love black metal as much as any genre or subgenre. So I like talking about it, but I feel like my inception into black metal is not as exciting as it was with death metal. So I'm just going to go through my collection and look at the albums, and then I'll think about it. But I think I think either way, I think it'd be something that a lot of you guys would like to watch or and talk about yourself. And by the way, I know I've said it before, but I really like I feel like I have a solid amount of people that chime in and talk to me on a regular basis, give me their input. I really like that. I think that's awesome. I'm not just here to. I've never really been one to talk about myself, or I think that's kind of boring. If I just talked to you guys and told you about how I feel about things, and I never got any input back, I think that'd be boring as fuck. So, I'd much rather hear what you guys have to say than what I have to say. But it's kind of cool, It's almost like having a conversation. Yeah. Fuck, I felt like I had something else to say, but I don't, so I'm going to end this instead of just sitting here rambling like I do at the end of every video. Anyways, take care, have a good day, thanks for stopping by, and see you next time. Louis says bye also, obviously.